Hello, my name is Vincent Gardner, and I'm the lead trombonist with the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, and I'm going to talk about intonation on the trombone. The trombone, unlike every other instrument, is basically a big tuning slide. The whole instrument is pretty much a big tuning slide, and we have the capability of adjusting our intonation in real time, much more so than any other instrument can do by lipping something up or lipping something down. We have this slide, which allows us to make slight adjustments at any time to our positions where the notes are fixed to blend with another instrument that we're playing with. So it's important that we're always keeping our ears open and listening for who we're playing with, whether it be the people in our own section or people that are in another section within the ensemble, for the intonation and for how we're matching up with them, and that we make slight adjustments to make sure that we're matching with the lead of whoever we're playing with. If we are the lead, if you're playing the lead voice, it's very important to learn how to fix your pitch at a certain level and to not move it. Because if everybody else is listening for you as the guideline for intonation, you don't want to be moving around and have everybody else moving around too trying to find you. So there's an old saying, it says if you make a mistake, make it loud, make it wrong and loud. Well, if you hit a note and it's out of tune, don't try to make a huge adjustment. Make a slight adjustment, but once you make one adjustment, stay there instead of making an adjustment and it still is not correct and then making another one. Make an adjustment, make it very definite, and let everybody find you, because it's a funny thing, but even if you're playing in a trombone section and all three of you are a little out of tune, but you're out of tune together, it's going to sound good, as opposed to one person being in tune and the other two trying to find somebody, or one person having a definite pitch and the other two trying to fish around and find it. So when you're playing, if you're playing lead trombone, make sure that you not only are constantly working on your own intonation, but that when you make adjustments to your intonation while playing a passage, that you're very definite, that you make your adjustment and make it, and don't move around after you make the first adjustment, because things are moving by so fast that if you try to make 2 or 3 adjustments in the space of a half note within a regular medium tempo or so, everybody's going to be fishing around. It will never settle. So it's very important that you always work on your own intonation, train your ears well, and then make very definite adjustments to intonation. And all of the time while we're playing the trombone, keep in mind that this thing can always adjust, much more so than anybody else. So as soon as you find the intonation of the lead player you're playing with, or whatever the scenario might be, try to get right to their pitch and make those slight adjustments in the positions wherever they might be. The other thing is that when bands tend to tune, I've been around and done a lot of workshops with different bands, and all bands tend to have tuners, you know, the tuners that everybody gets in front of and plays their note, and they look at the tuner and they try to match the needle up so the needle goes straight. The problem with that is that a lot of young musicians tend to rely more on tuning with their eyes, looking at this needle, instead of using their ears to tune. You should always tune with your ears. If you learn where a B flat sounds in tune, you never have the precision of a machine, of course, but if you get relatively close to it and can reproduce that whenever you're playing, it'll give everybody else a much stronger guide to latch on to when you're playing with them or when they're playing with you. Learn to take charge of your own intonation and use your ears instead of your eyes to tune. Every other instrument likes to tune to an A. The trombone is best tuned to a B flat, much more so than an A, because the A, of course, is in second position on the trombone. The low or the middle A or the high A naturally is in second position on the trombone. And the trombone is not in this closed position. So you should always tune to the horn in the closed position, the B flat much more so than the A. Other brass instruments will have other tuning slides that go off of what would correspond to our second position, their A, that they can tune that individual valve combination separately. We can't do that. If we play an A in second position, it's just right there and it's up to us to do that. And that's not going to be a fixed position every time we play it. So it's better for us to tune to B flat. So if your band only plays an A, trombone players, raise your hand and ask whoever your band director is, say, can we please also play a B flat, so the trombones can help to get their open note in tune.